I use 50 cell trays. I reuse them every year. Till they bust, then I throw them out and then replace. And then I also made this dibble board. As you can see, it's homemade. And I'm missing a couple PVCs. I glued those on there, but I've lost a few and I just haven't re-glued them. It works fine. I just take this board, put it down on there. It's hard to do one-handed. Push it down. It doesn't take much. Put a little dimple in there. I think the seed settles when you water it in. It'll settle down a little bit too. This machine I've probably had since the mid-80s. Probably 88, 9, I don't know. Something like that. It's a very simple, you've probably seen them on other YouTube videos. You got a vacuum, you turn your vacuum on. Of course, these are worn out. This is your vibrator, how much vibration you get. And this is your vacuum, how much vacuum you get. Basically, pour these across the more I do, the better I get. When you're not doing that many, it's kind of hard. And these are cucumbers, so I don't worry about doubles too much. Triples I knock off. And of course, then I come back. I might knock a double off and fill a hole in like that. Go like that. And I don't know, let's see if I can do this. Just lift it up. Cut the vacuum, turn it to exhaust. Alright, there we go. And I just take it over here. Just cover it up. On the finish palm. Been doing this ever since the 80s. I used to do 1,500 to 2,000 back when I was big wholesale. I would grow a lot of plants for other farmers, and I grew a lot of wholesale plants. Now just for retail now, just one farm stand, and the rest is grain that I grow. Nothing like I used to. I used to sit in here all day long for 4 or 5 days at a time sometimes planting, depending on what you're planting, how long it took. But this is a piece of cake, man. Now we're going to move on to squash. Yellow squash first. Yellow squash I think I can plant with a planter. The zucchinis I'll have to plant by hand. The string beans will have to be planted by hand. Vacuum. The machine doesn't have enough vacuum to hold the seeds because they're so large. But these have to be singles, single plant each cell. But sometimes they take more. Sometimes the seed holes aren't good. They go pretty quick. These are spineless zucchinis. The seeds large, I just plant them by hand. I can just bake those just as quick. Vacuum, as you can just see, some are small, they'll hold on, but then you have a big one like this. Very inconsistent, so it's easier to just do it by hand. just like that. As you can see, this is my book. This is from last year, what the date I planted it. I don't know if you can see this or not, but that's what I planted when. You can tell my daughter wrote some of this. I can't write that neat. But this string beans, Dominators, backpack, blah, blah, blah. That's what I planted on such date. So all I have to do is plant 10 trays of string beans. And I'll have to go over them, see if there's anything I missed. I don't know why we need a big bag for that much seed. You can see the size of the seed, very odd sizes, and the weight of them. Hard to plant on a cedar. I'm sure a lot of you are going to ask why I plant string beans by plant. We'll come in 15th April or 20th, whenever the weather warms up nice. We'll plant these and on plastic along with the squash and cucumbers and whatnot. And they'll be very early, and they're a lot easier to pick than planting on the dirt. It's switching the planter over, this, that, and the other. It's just, this works best for me. And I'll plant 3, maybe 4 plantings, and I'll probably have enough of it. I hate picking string beans, so that's one of the crops. You could sell it all summer long, all the way to frost, but sometimes I do plant a crop late into September, October for a lot of people put them up in the freezer or can them or whatnot, and I got to have a break from picking string beans. That's one of my least favorite things to pick. I've got to make some room here. I have some seedless. This was leftover seed. I tried. I couldn't get a stand. I got to throw these out. Make room for the string beans anyway. And of course you can see a space here. That was some Brandy Masters and eggplant. Both of them old seed. I actually don't think it was 1 year old. I think it was 2 or 3 years old. I've got more eggplant seed coming. Brandy Masters, I'm not real worried about because I don't like staking them. They don't yield very well. They yield well right for heirloom tomato. They're good. Some people love them, but we started growing the purple tomatoes, and they grow more like a traditional tomato, and they bear very well, and people like them too. So. It's a cloudy day, so I don't put a lot of water on cloudy days. I really need to try to start holding some of the tomatoes and peppers back a little bit. It's only April 1st. Still got 3 weeks. Same way with the cantaloupes. They need to be held back a little bit, just in case we might have an early spring. They're calling for above average temperatures, but it seems like the 20th or so of April we can get a frost. It's gonna get cold tonight. I guess I'm gonna cover up strawberries. I gotta load up a couple row covers and cover them up. I guess just in case, because we were getting pretty close to picking strawberries. Buster, that's his seat. He's rode there ever since he was 8 weeks old, and even if my wife tries to ride with us, he grumbles and growls. He won't bite anybody, but he just lets you know he don't like not being against the window. This is my loader. I've had this loader since 1983. I bought it used to clean out chicken houses. I'd really like to have another loader one of these days. It's just that you need so many things. This still works just around here, but the motor's starting to get weak. It's starting to burn some oil. I don't know how many motors. It's a V4D Wisconsin. I don't know. I can't tell you how many motors I've put in here. At least 5. There isn't anything on here there isn't hardly anything on here I haven't fixed. Or it's hydraulic, so everything's pretty simple. Anybody can work on it. I just thought I'd show you that. It works, and one of these days I'm gonna get a new one. Blossoms, loaded with blossoms, actually some small fruit, some bigger fruit than that here and there. These are Chandlers. I just stick with Chandlers. I don't vary too much, because these usually in the tunnels are pretty early, so I don't worry about all the early varieties changing up too much. Actually, I have a lot more problems with oversets and small fruit than anything. That's my biggest problem. I was getting ready to cover these strawberries up, and I noticed some problems, some discoloration in the leaves. Looks like they're lacking something. So I normally apply my nutrients in the fall through the drip. And I should have enough on there, but this particular house gets very wet, just the way it lays, where I had to put it. I'm gonna go ahead and take some tissue samples, send them off in a few days. We'll see what I need. I have a feeling I need minors, but we'll see. As you can probably see, you can see some water down there. I'm sure that's the problem. So we'll get these done. One of those days, as you can see, it's partly cloudy. It's 11 o'clock. I never uncovered. I thought it was going to be cloudy and chance of rain all day. Of course, we're getting some sunshine. So I have to go down to the tunnels and pull the row cover off the tomatoes. I'm going to leave it on the strawberries. I am going to take some tissue samples while I'm down here, because I took some in the one greenhouse. I don't see any problem in these greenhouses, but I'm going to take a test anyway, just so I know. This would be the coldest, absolute coldest spot. I don't see any damage to speak of. It curled. They were cold last night, but I don't see any burn. I guess we dodged a bullet. These tomatoes, I'm keeping the hoops on them for now. They need to be staked bad, but to pull the row cover over the stakes is a lot more time consuming. If I can let them go a few more days, I think I'll be all right come this week. I'll go ahead and stake them this week.
Thanks for watching our video, and be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for our upcoming videos. Thanks.